Let's put in some of these dark greens of these beautiful trees here. The tones are so dark they're almost not visible. But we do want them to be visible. And we'll just let it be sketchy. In a reference photo, this element here is round. It looks like a mirror for traffic, but I changed it to a square simply because there's no other significant circles in the rest of the composition. Oh yes, I love these beautiful, rich, deep tones. I'm adding ivory black and this phthalo green. It creates this gorgeous dark green color. Just gorgeous. And we'll just blotch it in there, make it look kind of like leaves and clusters of branches. Oh, heck, let's make this kind of like foliage too, over here. Now this automobile, we'll treat it fairly loosely. If it turns out looking like an automobile, fine. Or, since it's off to the side here, if it becomes more of a vague element, that's fine too. The basic thing is to let it work as an aspect of the composition. It's okay if you accidentally get unexpected colors into areas of your painting. Just work them in. Trust the creative process. Something interesting is bound to come out of it. If nothing else, certainly a lesson will come out of it. Let's make sure we get lots of blue into these shadows. Shadows love the color blue. It's true in nature, most shadows have some blue in them, but it's also very pleasing to the eye. Using the side of my brush to capture this dapple lighting effect caused by the light, probably a street light coming through the trees. Now we have this burst of light coming out of this doorway here. It's the first piece of white you'll notice we've put on the painting so far. Now, I'm making it lighter in here because I want to accent the two figures in the photo in the distance. And if I silhouette them against this lighter tone, that might be interesting. So this is fairly sketchy, but you know, as we stand back and look at it, it's turning into something. Let's work in this foreground telephone pole. It has all those white posters attached to it, but in reality, when you look carefully at the photo, they're not white. Compare the color of the photos to the light in the windows opposite. The light in the window is the white. Therefore, these posters must be some shade of gray, relatively speaking. come down this telephone pole and just suggest the different shapes of these posters. Let's throw in some yellow here. I see a hint of it in our photo. We won't spend too much time in detail. We just want enough to give suggestion. Now all of this area here, it's full of tiny details that we just don't need to capture, but just the vague essence of it. For these trees, we're putting in some burnt sienna, a little bit of white. There's probably a little black mixed in on there on this brush. Let those branches go up. More burnt sienna. Let's add some blue in there. See what that does. Yes. All right, let's see what burnt sienna and ultramarine blue do. Yeah, they do good things. Now I'm ready to start putting in some of these details. If I just go like this, we just start putting in some of these highlights. It's nothing like beautiful white highlights to make a painting begin to sing. Let's get some more tones in here. Let's go for some medium tones. Yeah. More dark blue, yes. For the details in the tree, we're going to use more bright orange dabs. You wouldn't think that's would be a color for detailed leaves, but for some reason it works wonderfully. So we can see how this is, the beautiful evening there is starting to frame this light. Now we're going back up here to capture some of the nuances, the dapple lighting that is being cast by the trees. Highlights also like yellow. Putting a little bit of yellow into your whites really makes those highlights sing. Now let's put in these two figures down the sidewalk. One looks like it has a pumpkin head, so we want to change that. Even that little blob I made, fix it. Painting's wonderful. Put in more elements. Mixing colors. My paintbrush is just jumping around my palette, picking up any kind of color, just so long as it's a medium to medium light value. I'm going to use my maul stick here, which is a device made out of aluminum with a rubber tip on it, and it's excellent for guiding the hand while you make straight lines. And I'm breaking the line as I do it too, intentionally, because the rest of the picture is sketchy, so it makes sense that our detailed thin lines are a little bit sketchy too. As you can see, our finished painting is fairly sketchy, but remember what our goal was. Our goal was to create dramatic lighting, and we've accomplished that by arranging these beautiful bright spots next to and relative to the dark tones around. And also the sketchiness, though when you look at the paint itself, it looks splotchy, the way we've laid down the paint creates the illusion like the details are there. For example, in the windows. You don't see what's in the windows, but just the suggestion of colors and tones creates the implication that there's something there, as well as the shadows in the brickwork. So give this a try. You can take your painting further, more detail, but the key is to capture that dramatic lighting at night. So there you have it. We've explored dramatic light in watercolors and oils. Now the key to this is to go about your day noticing the qualities of light around you and how the morning light is different than the afternoon light or the evening light. We've also explored the wet-on-wet technique and the wet-on-dry technique. And now the way to go forward is to enjoy it, don't judge yourself, and just have fun.
Now available to buy. Try these techniques at home whenever you wish. The extended DVD of today's workshop is now available from the Painting and Drawing channel. For further information and to order your copy, go to www.paintingdrawingchannel.com.